Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking about portobello mushrooms, and I have a list of tips and ideas for using portobellos. So if you're new to using them or you're just looking for something a little different, maybe some new recipe ideas, hopefully this list will help you out. Try a portobello sandwich with grilled portobello mushrooms, roasted red bell peppers, caramelized onions, fresh basil leaves, and leafy greens of your choice. It could be like arugula, baby greens, or even a spring mix. And then some mozzarella cheese and a mustardy dressing. That one makes me hungry. Now, most of the mushrooms that we find in grocery stores are actually the same variety of mushroom, believe it or not. The little white button mushrooms are very young fungi. They're young mushrooms. As they begin to mature, their flavor and appearance begins to change, and we'll call them cremini mushrooms at that point. Or we might call them baby bellas, baby portobello mushrooms. When they're fully mature, their flavor intensifies, and then they're called portobello mushrooms. So the ones we find in the grocery store are actually the same type of mushroom. All three of them. The white button mushrooms, the baby bellas, the portobellos, or the cremini, if they call them that. It's the same mushroom, just at different stages in their life cycle. Now, if you have a recipe that calls for portobello mushrooms and you don't have enough or you don't have any, you could substitute the cremini mushrooms or the baby bella mushrooms for them. You could even substitute in the white button mushrooms. Yes, as it gets younger, the mushroom gets younger, the flavor will get more mild, and as you move from the white buttons up to the cremini or the baby bella and then to the full portobello mushrooms, the flavor will intensify. But nevertheless, they can be used interchangeably as substitutes for each other. Here's an important note. When you have extra mushrooms on hand, you definitely want to store them in the refrigerator, but do not store them in airtight containers. If you do that, moisture is going to accumulate within the container and it'll cause them to rot. Instead, you want to store them where they're going to get some air to them. It could be in a paper bag, or they could be wrapped in paper towels. However you choose to do it, you want them to be in some sort of an absorptive type of container, like a paper bag, so that as they release moisture, it's going to soak up that moisture and not sit on the mushrooms, which will cause them to rot. They really do need to be kept dry. And you want to use them within a week, if you possibly can, for the best quality. Now, the stems of portobello mushrooms can be tough and woody, and a lot of people do remove those stems before using their mushrooms. But it is important to know that they are edible. And so if you prefer to remove them, you don't need to just throw them away. You can save them for making stock later on. Now, if you want to grill portobello mushrooms, you want to remove any remaining stem from each cap. And if desired, you can also scrape off the gills with a spoon from underneath the cap, and then brush both sides of the mushroom with oil of your choice. And the caps can also be marinated for up to 30 minutes before grilling. And season them as desired, then grill them over a medium-high heat for only 5 to 7 minutes per side, and then remove them from the grill and enjoy. An easy way to add some portobellos to a meal is to add some to your favorite burgers. If they're meat-based burgers, you can substitute half of the meat with the chopped portobellos. If they're veggie burgers, you can simply add chopped portobello mushrooms to the mix, or substitute portobello mushrooms for half the beans that are called for in the recipe. If you're watching your potassium intake, there's as much potassium in a 2/3 cup serving of cooked portobello mushrooms as there is in one medium banana. It is advisable to cook mushrooms before you eat them. If possible, try not to eat them raw. Most mushrooms contain traces of a compound called agaritine, and that may be carcinogenic when it's metabolized into specific compounds. There's conflicting evidence about it, but why take a chance? Agaritine is heat sensitive, and cooking them in any way, even very briefly, will destroy that compound, making mushrooms a very, very healthful part of any diet. Mushrooms are very porous. When you marinate them, a shorter time is better than a longer time, because soaking them in anything for an extended period of time can cause them to become mushy. So marinating them for about 30 minutes is usually plenty of time to do the job. If you have any tips for using mushrooms that you would like to share with other people, share it below, and it would certainly help others out. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. Take care and bye for now.